I broke up with him. And then I maybe showed up at his apartment like 2 or 3 times unannounced.
Yeah, of course,
Which,
of course.
like, when you're like 19, 20, you're like, this is romantic.
You're like,
this
I'm
is
so
right,
spontaneous.
This is, and now as an adult, I'm like, that's stalking. That's not good at all. Banging it out, banging it out, banging it out, banging it out, banging it out. Hey, welcome to Banging It Out. I'm Elke Thoms. Rachel Mathieu, back for part 2. We have so much that we've gotten into and still have to go. So I'm so curious. Did you ever, your ex, did he ever see the new, did you interact at all after that? Like,
yes.
Or, oh, okay. Did he see the new hair, I guess?
Yes.
Did that matter? Did it not matter at all? Like, yeah, what was the situation?
That's a really excellent question.
Oh, thank God.
This is a key detail of this story that I haven't even touched on.
Oh my gosh.
But when I say I had a crisis, I do mean, and there were other factors involved.
Sure.
But
we can get into
all of them.
Yeah.
But that was unequivocally the defining factor, even though I didn't fully realize it at the time.
Yes.
I was transferring after my freshman year back to Georgia. I was like, this was all a mistake. I've ruined my life.
Wait, I also tried to transfer after my freshman year.
No
okay,
way.
We'll get it. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sisters in mental illness.
Yeah.
No, it was just genuinely one of those things where I feel like, 1, it was a big transition.
Yeah.
2, I went through this breakup, was spiraling.
Yeah.
3, I hadn't fully found my people.
Yes.
My roommate was one of my close friends. Definitely my best friend there, but she was also transferring, which definitely I think contributed to me being
of course.
burn it.
Right.
Which was, it just fed the flames. And then I went home for the summer, which was tough. And I was like already kind of like, was this a disaster? I don't know.
Right.
And then that ex, I saw a picture on Facebook, because that was back when Facebook was happening, of him with a new girl.
No.
Devastated.
He's
I
like,
was like,
I'm going perfectly, and yours was not.
He doesn't even know I
Right.
No, it was heinous. I remember like full body sobbing. I also had just the worst summer job of all time. I was working at Vineyard Vines in Atlanta, commuting an hour to get there from the suburbs.
Oh my gosh. They needed you. They needed
me to sell those whale shirts.
Good. Yeah.
And anyways, he like got with this new girl, which honestly needed to happen because I was like, what have I done?
Right.
I think I maybe just ruined my life.
Right.
Oh God. And then I undid it all.
Okay.
And was like, just kidding, everybody. Blah, I'm coming back.
You're right.
False alarm.
Break up with her.
Yeah. Literally.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
It
was just such a situation. And so, I like undid everything, was going back to USC.
Okay.
And then that carried through. But his sister is my childhood best friend. So we still like, saw each other and that sort of thing.
Totally.
And we it got to a place that at that point it was ground zero. You know what I mean? It was like, we don't speak.
No.
It's really bad vibes.
Yeah.
If I think about it, like I'm sent to the moon.
Right.
And so that was still in that tender spot. And then later on we had kind of like a brief rekindling, which honestly was nice, I think, because it felt like, okay, there was something.
Right.
I wasn't like an insane person.
Right.
You know?
Totally. Yeah.
Which sometimes you need to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that age, you're kind of like in this space of like, am I being... Obviously, everybody's telling you you're being a little overdramatic, or you're not going to be with this person forever or whatever. But the truth is, it's like you can feel very real feelings at 18. Obviously, many people do, because a lot of people meet their person at that age. So yeah, totally.
Yeah. I feel like it's also one of those things too, where I don't know if you've ever had this experience in a breakup, but where you're going through a breakup, you're devastated. It's a whole situation, and then just even a little glimpse years later on that person isn't like, fuck you, I wish you were dead.
Yes.
Just that they are like, you know what? Yeah, you were cool and we had a nice thing.
Yeah, totally.
Is very helpful.
It is.
I think.
I have experienced that, and I actually think that's one of the harder things sometimes initially to navigate, because I think that I grew up thinking like, oh, every breakup is going to be like, I hate you, we're not speaking, whatever. And I have had those, but it's almost it's almost harder when it's like, okay, how are we navigating like we don't think we're evil, you know, but like it is that situational thing of, hey, something else separated us. You're a great person. It just didn't work out. But at the same time, it's nice to, you know, it's a green flag for you in a way, right?
Thank you.
Now we know,
yes.
you know, that like, it's not like that, like all my exes are crazy kind of rhetoric. So yeah.
Yeah. And I do think it's also one of those things too in a breakup is that, I mean, I feel like everybody processes those things very differently.
Yes.
And I think at the end of the day, what is helpful if it's possible, because obviously some situations it's not, but if it's possible to just be like, I know that like that person's out in the world and I think they think positively of me and I think positively of them, and there's a certain peace in that, you know? Totally.
I completely agree. And I think very, very mature of you to be. Did you feel this way? Like, this is the most mature crisis I've ever heard of. If I'm going to be honest.
Wow. What I'm going to put that on my tombstone. My crises, they were mature. I went through a breakup with a long distance. So I had a long distance high school boyfriend to college, but I took him through the first 2 years of my college experience. Yes.
But
good on you. Well, you made it through the turkey drop.
Well,
that's huge.
I sure did. And in fact, what I did was kind of be like, hey, you need to transfer to be closer to me. And then he did. And then I broke up with him. So really
Gosh darn.
But I think it was okay because he was really into film and he was going to a school originally that wasn't good for film and he transferred to Emerson. So
oh my gosh.
I actually think
you
improved.
Helped him.
Yes.
Yeah. What a gift giver you are.
But it was just that thing of I was like, things will be perfect once you're like, we're both in the same city. And then I was like, too close.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. I have unresolved commitment issues. But hey, I helped him out.
Yeah, you did. Are you at a place with him where you would say that you're at peace or we are not at peace?
That's such a good question. Even though it was so long ago, no. Because
that's okay.
I have exes, more recent exes that I'm in like really good places with. Him, this guy, 100% my fault.
Yeah, sure.
100% my fault. I broke up with him. And then I maybe showed up at his apartment like 2 or 3 times unannounced.
Yeah, of course,
Which, like, when you're like 19, 20, you're like, this is romantic.
You're like,
this
I'm
is
so spontaneous.
And now as an adult, I'm like, that's stalking. That's not good at all. That's horrifying. And I remember like talking to my best friend to this day. Her name's Maggie, one of my roommates. And I was like, hey, like, I think I'm going to go to his house. And she was like, I really don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of already did it. I was just
I'm actually just telling you that it happened. Wait, when you say you went to his house, was it to talk to him or to sit outside?
I would love to go into detail about this. The first time was we broke up in like late February. I did the post Valentine's Day drop, I guess.
Nice.
Which I thought was so original. I was like, what? And then I read that's like the most common week to break up, apparently.
Is it really?
Yeah, the last week in February. Because you've just ended all the holidays and Valentine's Day. And now you're kind of in the clear. Usually you don't have trips.
That makes sense.
Did that, cool. And then I'm a massive Prince fan. Prince passed away that April. And I was upset that he did not text me to say, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
You don't understand. Prince is like my big, like, this is huge for me. Like, he had to know. It was like, I had people reaching out that hadn't talked to me in like years. Okay, so.
Were the text things I'm like, I'm thinking of you most of all on this day?
We've been together for 3 years. And I was and I thought I was doing good. Like, I was kind of like, and I broke up with him. So again, this is my fault. Like I'm sitting here today saying I was crazy. To be clear, I'm so sorry to that man. I hope he's well. Actually, I know he's married now. So I'm every once in a while I stalk and I'm like, good. It looks like you're really happy, and that makes me so happy genuinely that you got away from this crazy girl. I was so mad that he did not send me any sort of note of sympathy. That I, decided to really show him how little I cared about the situation by showing up at his door.
That's effective. Effective.
I mean, that building had it was locked. I had to wait outside, for somebody to come in with their like food delivery order and then scurry in.
Nice.
Yeah. And then for good measure, I did it like a second time.
Wait, so I'm unclear. You're in the building.
So unclear. Yeah.
And then what? Like,
so
did you talk?
So then I go up, I knock on his door.
Sure.
And he answers, and I'm like, why didn't you text me Prince is dead?
Wait, I'm obsessed with this storyline.
I hate that I'm revealing this. And then he was like, well, I obviously like thought of you all day, but I think he said like I figured it would just like upset you to like hear from me.
And
also,
you know
like,
what? A fair
you
argument.
dumped me, girl. What? Like,
why would? Yeah,
right?
You
like,
want to hear from me?
Yeah, I get the sense you don't want me in your life.
Yeah.
Because anyway, and then I was like, okay, fair points. And then I left. Like, that was really it.
Brief.
There was no like, there was no like, and then it was like, and then bye.
You're like, all right.
And then I did it at some point a few weeks later. Don't remember why.
Sure.
I do just remember feeling like this has really lost its impact. Like,
When
the
surprise announcement. Yeah.
Like,
There's only so many things that could be happening with Prince.
Right.
Yeah.
I just remember showing up the second time, and when I went to knock, I had the feeling of like, this isn't packing as much of a punch as it did the first time. I feel it. The energy's not there.
Yeah.
He's like, what is going on? I think he had a friend
Sure.
over. I remember seeing like his friend in the background who's just
Awesome.
like, and I was like, oh no, an audience, but like this show isn't going to be as good because I don't even have a good reason this time. And then I was like, we gotta let it go. But to this day, my best friend and I constantly talk about like, I'm gonna just go to his house real quick. I think I'm just gonna show up. So ironically, he lives in LA now, and I live in fear of us running into each other. Not really. I mean, I truly hope he's doing well, but I'm like, I don't blame you for not wanting to be like close.
To not have a barbecue together or anything.
Totally.
Sure.
Like,
Okay, not to
Please.
belabor the point.
Yes.
But I do want to know what happened the second time.
Okay.
What was your entering line?
I feel like I hate that I can't remember. That's how like not impactful it was. Like I remember being like, it was not Prince related, thank goodness.
Sure.
I
was curious. That was gonna be my
It was
sub
definitely
question.
a few weeks later. Was it? It wasn't like my birthday. I was trying to it wasn't his birthday. I'm trying to think of why would the birthday matter? I don't know. That was the problem. I remember I showed up and I knocked, and I remember just thinking, whatever I came here for was not worth it.
Right. You're like, I forgot my lines.
But I had 45 minutes to think that, on my way there.
So, it was a 45-minute drive.
Actually train ride. So really a lot of time to just sit and think.
That's
about
even
my
funnier
decision.
because 45 minutes is like a substantial amount of time for you to change your mind.
Actually, I think I was interning close to him, so maybe I might have just stopped home after.
Okay. That works.
It might have just been on my way home, now that I think about it.
Sure.
I was like, you know what? Let's just follow the urge. It's right here. You don't want to get all the way home and then be like, I really should have run that errand.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, I just do remember vividly knocking, him opening the door, seeing his friend in the background. I feel like that really pulled me out of it, where I was like, oh no, now a third party is witnessing me.
Right.
And I'm like, this is not a good look.
That's tough.
I really don't. I wish. That is crazy that whatever it was, I felt so motivated to go over there. And now I'm like, I literally can't remember.
Who's to say?
I'm going to go home and check my journals, honestly.
You should. Or also, you could just, I'm sure, find him. I'm sure he's close by.
He
and be
remembers
like, hey.
vividly.
Yeah, because I bet he's got that one on lock.
What I love is that, like, before I did that, we definitely probably were in a place of, like, we would have become, like, friends or whatever, like stayed a little bit in touch, childhood sweethearts, like cute. And I feel like I really just made sure.
Prince's fault, really. None of this would have happened if he could have hung out a little bit longer.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I did write him probably like a year or two after that. And I just was like, hey, I just wanted to say, got a little bit crazy back there.
Total oopsie daisy.
Like, we don't need to, whatever, but just like looking back, I've done some reflecting and I invaded your personal space multiple times. And I'm really,
That's mature of you.
Yeah. And now I just get to look back on that and know that I did it. But it really, my advice out there, listeners, is if you're going to do it, only do it once. It really loses its punch at the second time. You're like, we've all seen the magic trick. Everybody knows.
Right. Everybody knows that you've got that card in your back pocket. Yeah. Sure.
So,
I love that. That's incredible.
I love that. I appreciate that you were able to have a mature rekindling with with your person.
To be fair, I think it's sometimes easier when you're the person that was broken up with.
Yes.
let me think this through. As I say this thought, I'm like, is this true?
Yeah.
I'm sounding this out live. I think maybe because if you're the person in your position, you're the person that broke things off.
Yes.
You're the one that's like, should I have?
No, I feel very strongly about this, that it is harder.
Oh, okay.
If you are the person that does the breaking up.
Yeah.
And I feel that way because I have had 2 kind of significant relationships that I have ended, and I've really like struggled with that. I've also been broken up with.
Right.
But I feel like then you're like, well, I hate this person. And you can ultimately go, well, they don't want to be with me.
Right.
Screw them.
Right.
Like you can almost fall back on that.
Yeah. And it's also kind of like you don't have other options at that point where it's like, well, your line in the sand is clear.
Right.
So
there's no world. Right. That world has been taken away from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, it's a little bit more like freeing is the word that's coming to mind, but I don't know. But I'm saying that as someone that like moved across the country to see if I could rekindle. So I'm like,
and then promptly went into crisis.
And then was like, SOS, what have I done? So I'm like, I gotta work out the details of this theory more. But but anyways, I do think you at least don't have the thought of like, did I make a mistake? Because you're like, I didn't make a choice here in order for that choice to have then been a mistake, if that makes sense.
Yes, 100%. And that is in fact with my whole thing of showing up. That is what I was struggling with. Is like at first the relationship ended and I was like kind of proud of myself. I was like, that was really hard. He's a great person, but I know we're not endgame. Yeah. You know, good for me. And then it kind of sunk in of like, what if I've made a terrible mistake?
100%.
And you do. I mean, it's selfish, but looking back, I think I wanted to feel like he was still going to be there. And then
100%.
if you don't text me when Prince dies, that means you're not there anymore. And I think that like triggered the insanity.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
I agree, it is harder.
I think that is commonly, because I've had a couple friends. In fact, I was talking about a friend about this recently. Yeah. She ended a relationship. And I think it's that thing of being like, oh, it's weird because it's not like I don't like this person. Right. Like I still care about this person a lot. And now I don't have them as like a support system for all of these other things that are happening in my life, which feels bad. Yeah. Because I still care about them.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And your relationship becomes so much. I mean, they are your romantic partner, but they're also like, they're your supports. You know, we're designed for them to be so many things. Right. And then you just lose
all of it. Yeah.
Well, on that really positive note,
sweet.
This is a comedy podcast. Eventually, it all comes crashing down. We're going to play our game called Would You Rath-HAIR.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. And thank God I invented this game because otherwise every episode would end with like, and I guess I never really liked my face.
Sure. Gotta have a palate cleanser.
Would you rath-HAIR your hair give you the ability to fly or turn invisible? This is really just the flight invisibility question, but
with a hair context.
But with a hair.
Yeah, okay,
and to
perfect.
be clear, though, it is your entire body, not just your hair flying away or your hair turning
That was going to be my next question.
Invisible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that is your sketch background coming into play, and I appreciate that. You're like...
I was like, I just want to be clear on the rules of this.
Because both are equally make sense. Like,
Exactly.
So if you could clarify.
There's different pros and cons to consider if that's the case. But tip to toe, we're flying and or invisible. Okay. I would say... This is tough.
Yeah.
This is tough because I think I would answer this question differently at different phases in life.
Love.
In my current state, I think I would say flying.
Okay.
Because
I love that.
I feel like I have less uses for being invisible these days.
Oh, I love that.
You know, I'm like, wow. To be invisible from whom?
Yeah.
In what circumstance?
Right.
However, in phases of like higher embarrassment levels at a greater frequency, probably the latter. Yeah. But I feel like flying is just fundamentally useful in this economy. I can't.
I mean,
with the
also
airfare,
the airlines situation,
they're all crashing.
Right.
I just feel like that's economically viable.
Yeah. Not to mention, you can get to the film festival.
That's right.
You know,
all the way in Naples.
Totally.
Yeah. That's helpful.
Yeah.
So I feel like that one is just like practically useful in my day to day.
Yeah.
You know,
100%. I love that.
What about you?
I would be invisible, and I hate that I would be.
Like, now that I've shamed it.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, what is it mean? My self-esteem. But I'm like, no, I just feel like it's not that I don't want to be seen. Clearly I do, because I made a podcast with my face on it 3 times in the room anyway. So that's clearly not the issue. But there is something about, I think, just like that I could go I mean, really, it's just that I could like walk home at night and not have to, just be invisible.
Too. That's practical.
Also, I could also, I wouldn't be able to fly, but I could get on airplanes for free by turning invisible.
That's true.
And I guess just lay down in the aisle.
I was going to say, tough, it's a full flight. Yeah. You might just roll around, I guess, in the barrel.
Like, this chair is weird. What?
It's just like a soft hug from behind. You're like, I feel my late grandmother's presence in this air flight.
It's just me being like, oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like I would do invisibility. I feel like I'd have a lot of uses for it. It just feels the most practical for me at this time.
I'm also seeing a world in which, like, I don't know. I feel like if you're ever in a situation where you're maybe running errands, you're like, I'm not really trying to have a whole lot of interactions, whatever.
Totally.
You can just put on your invisibility cloak, as it were, and navigate.
That is something that sometimes I'm just not in that headspace.
I get
for the Trader Joe's conversation.
Right.
Although I would have to bring my goods still to the register, so I don't know.
I was also just coming to that conclusion of like, there is actually a fundamental flaw in this.
Ghostbusters thing of like the box of apple cider donuts is floating to the front.
Right.
Yeah, so it might.
You could steal, I guess, a lot easier. Yeah. But
no, I couldn't, because where would it go? I guess, if I hold it, does it? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we would have to look into the transitive properties of the invisibility.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Would you rath-HAIR have an 80s full perm with,
oh my gosh,
and this is key, the bangs that go straight up, like you've just like freshly come out of a tornado.
Hell yeah.
Or an 80s mullet, and why?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to go perm.
Okay.
And again, this kind of harkens back to, I'm a huge Prince fan. I grew up watching Purple Rain, all these things. And I always was like, oh my gosh, 80s hair and makeup is amazing. I loved like 80s hair. We had an 80s hair day at school, which I definitely didn't do a very good job for. But I did just put on like a shit ton of blue eyeshadow. You know, I was just like, I was half Avatar. It was crazy. You know, but I was like, I love this. I love we're using fun colors. It's bold. It's, so I would say that I don't look forward to the work of it.
Tough. A lot of maintenance.
And being chained to that. But yeah, for sure. Yeah. Mullet, I don't think I have the bone structure. I do have.
It's all about the bone structure, famously for a mullet.
To be clear, I think I have bone structure, but I think my cheeks with the mullet, it would be really severe. It would be like, what's going on here?
Does she have a knife?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Fair enough.
I feel like my resting face is already a little intense, and I feel like the mullet would just create an extra intensity that I wouldn't be able to recover from.
And fair enough. Fair enough. I think for me, here's where I get caught up on this one, as I was preparing my own answer, of course, is that if it was just a regular 80s perm and it was just the perm, that's definitely what I would pick.
Yeah.
The thing where I pause is the bang situation.
Yeah.
Because that to me is where you kind of lose the plot, where it's like, okay, we are no longer just having curly hair.
Yeah.
We are also seemingly incredibly frazzled 100% of the time. And I don't know if I want that branding.
We are also seemingly in distress.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Whereas the mullet, it's like, you have a mullet. And that's just the way that it is.
That's just what it is.
Right.
Take you as you are.
Right.
You mean business.
Exactly.
Especially you with Elephant Department running the show. I feel like it really it really would say,
give me a little
this
more
is what
authority.
We're about.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give you a second. I really want to hear about your short film coming up. Tell me about this.
We're so excited. It's been many years in the making.
Yeah.
It was shot predominantly in Paris, but we also did some like green screen stuff here in LA, and then we randomly shot some stuff in New Orleans and like faked it for Paris, which was a whole thing. But amazing. We've been really excited about it. And basically kind of the plot is the character that I play is in Paris, but she's working all the time, is very stressed out, and her sister comes to visit her, and there is some tension brewing between them because my character is like, I am caught between all of these things, and I feel like I don't have time to spend with you, and like I haven't even gotten to explore Paris yet.
Totally.
Like I can't do all of this.
And to be clear, is your character working at Vineyard Vines, or is that just
a classic Parisian brand,
right?
Just
classic,
the peak of fashion
designer,
right. Exactly, based off my own experience at Vineyard Vines,
right.
And anyways, she gets in this freak accident and time pauses. And so she's the only one that can move about the world, and then everything else is frozen.
Yeah.
So she finally gets to explore Paris and do all of these things and see all of these things that she's always wanted to do. So at first it's like the greatest gift. And then over time, as she's like lonely and is realizing like I can't interact with anyone anymore.
Yeah.
She has this like minty bee basically and is
classic.
Classic. And is like, oh no, this is actually really bad and like I have to figure out how to get out of this situation. So anyways.
I'm so excited to see it. Oh my gosh. That sounds
fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And what great shooting locations.
I know. It was honestly the best. I mean, there were so many parts of it that were great, but like shooting anything at all in Paris for any reason, what a dream.
I'm like realizing now that I'm like, I need to start setting things in better spots.
Yeah. Why is this actually here?
Right. Why is this not at the top of the Eiffel Tower?
Is that not in the budget? That's so weird.
Oh, it's definitely in the budget for sure. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely.
I had a blast, and wishing you not another crisis, but if you have one, would love to have you back. So
thank you so much. Fingers crossed, but I'll let you know.
Okay, great.
Bye.